Today's menu: Fish the Size of a God. Episode 80. Let's go kill Leviathan. I've got my eye on you. What's this? This isn't a dungeon, is it? This guy's the island sanctuary guy. I can't have these unlocked yet, so why is this? Ahoy there, Les. You're keen to visit one of them island sanctuaries, I take it? Bugger me, you're unaware of the fuss going around about this whole affair? If you head southeast from here, the Isle of Reborn, that is, you'll reach the Sealed Artists. Sealed Delays. I've always read it, but I never pronounced it. Sealed Delays. Adventurers much like yourself have been granted the right to cultivate a number of the deserted isles there. Don't get your hopes up, though. Ain't as if any and all can go and get themselves a permit for one of them island sanctuaries. As far as I can tell, whole project's still in its infancy, and the Admiral's bloody fussy about candidates. Tell you what, since I like you, I'll take you to any mate of yours isle, safe and sound. You need only say the word. You now visit an island sanctuary of a party member, free company member or friend who has unlocked the feature. You can't visit the sanctuary if it's forbidden by the owner, or if there is no one on the island. Or if it's reached capacity. And you must be on the same homeworld. And of course, you actually unlock this feature for real after Endwalker. Way in the future, if we ever get that far. I don't even know if I'd want to do Island Sanctuary on Komori. I was just interested to see it unlocked here, but I see. So this is a way to kind of show off to your friends that are still in the early stages. They allow people to visit the island sanctuaries way before they actually unlock them. I didn't know this. It's too bad I can't make friends with my own character. I'm currently on the same world as my main character, but if I could, I'd like to visit my own island sanctuary as Komori. Even if I were able to somehow friend my own character, which I don't think is possible. It seems like I would need to have signed in as that character for Komori to visit the island. Even if I had the extra hardware to do that, I'm pretty sure my Square Enix account would forbid that from happening. Of course, I could just visit my own island sanctuary as my main character on camera, but I don't know. This is Komori's video series. It'd feel wrong. Swap onto my main character just to visit the island. Maybe several years from now, if I'm somehow still making videos without any issues, Komori will have an island of her very own. To complete the twin vessel in so short a time and with limited materials, the people of Naldic and Vimelis have won an admirer in me. These are the people we did all the side questing for, didn't we? I guess they have nothing else to do considering we cleared all the side content for them. They have no excuses. When first Master Aidensar proposed the twin vessel, I must confess I had my doubts. Only now that the World Eater is complete, do I see the elegance of this solution. Would that we had armed ourselves with more knowledge beforehand. Well, it cannot be helped now. I take comfort in the fact that you have faced worse odds in the past, and have ever prevailed, You will do so again, of that I have no doubt. It will require no small amount of helmsmanship to tow the World Leader. I dare say, delivering you to safety to Leviathan will be a battle in itself. In order to build the World Leader, we had to decommission 2 perfectly serviceable galleons. Suffice it to say, their captains weren't best pleased with the notion, but when I offered them the chance to keep their ships and face Leviathan in our stead, they magnanimously withdrew their complaints. We must all make sacrifices for the greater good, they said. I'm told your jaunt into the Great Fleet proved fruitless. My sympathies, lass. I'll wager it served to take your mind off the events of recent days, though. But enough of that nonsense. The moment of truth is upon us. The twin vessel, the World Leader, I call her, is complete, and she surpasses all my expectations. In addition to her prodigious tonnage, she has been fitted with a platform that you and yours might maneuver freely in battle. I would mention, also, that she is nigh unsinkable, but I'm not one to tempt fate. The World Leader and her crew stand ready, my friend. Just give the word, and we shall bear you to Leviathan. And of course, fighting a primal is no job for our puny, weak, pathetic little carbuncle peepee. Get out of here. Leave the real job to a real class. We're going Black Mage. I know that look. You are ready. Having been constructed in some haste, the World Eater may not be pretty, but I assure you she is capable. She has been fitted with what our friends at Nordic and Vimelis are calling an elemental converter. Assuming the thing works, it will use the power of the corrupted crystals on board to rob Leviathan of his hold over water. Depending on how the battle unfolds, you may well need to activate the device manually. Keep that in mind, especially if you are a sprout adventurer that doesn't know mechanics to battles. Keep that in mind. Well, even veterans forget to do this whole part. I'll try to remember it, though. It is expected that the Sahagin and their thralls will attempt to come to Leviathan's defense. Accordingly, the Maelstrom will once again employ diversions. Tancred and Ishtola, I would have you assist in this effort. If it is to fulfill its purpose, your diversionary force must not want for numbers. By your leave, I too would volunteer my blade. We would welcome it. Having seen you fight in Sapsa, I dare say the fishbacks will find your presence highly diverting. Tancred and Ishtola, if you would join the Third Levy and Lady Ugiri, the Fifth. But what words have I for the woman who has made a sport of slaying gods? Only these. Go warily, for the sea is an unforgiving place to wage war. May the navigator guide you through the storm, warrior of light. I would echo the Admiral's sentiments and add a few words of my own. Know that we all have the utmost faith in you, Komori. May the crystal bless and keep you. And of course, the World Eater Hard is just the normal version of the raid. There is no World Eater non-hard, / easy mode or whatever, because there was no trial like this in the base game. But they had to keep the name convention of calling them hard, I guess to be on par, matching the whole 8-player trial thing. The wait time is expected to be 7 minutes, and I in fact saw another player here just shortly before. I think, queuing into this, if I saw that correctly. It probably shouldn't be too long before we actually get thrust into battle, but until then, I guess we'll be staring out at sea. wasn't even a minute of wait. Ah, they're watering me with Sprout. Thanks, everyone. Now the thing that I have trouble remembering here is which target the magical DPS is supposed to hit. Because at this point, you split between the head and the tail. I'm going to assume the tail and see if... Yep, that did damage. We target this one. I believe ranged DPS are made to target the head, and of course melee can target whoever they want. Gotta watch the gyre spooms. If the elemental conversion on the right gets too low, we lose, because we won't be able to stop the white mechanic. I think that's our cue. I think I missed the flashiness of the attack. Cool music though. And that's as quick as it gets. Too bad we didn't get to enjoy the music to its full extent. What? No welcome wagon? I thought they'd be eagerly awaiting my return. Well, I guess they were on ships of their own, helping the distraction effort. A little bit unceremonious, especially considering how quickly the fight went by. A lot of the mechanics you don't see until the extreme version of that raid. Specifically where Leviathan is pushing you around whenever it rocks the boat. That is a much more relevant mechanic when there are no walls on the boat in the extreme version of the raid. A lot of people just get sent flying off because they don't know which side to stand on. Knowing the urgency of your business, I thought it best to refrain from making conversation during your past few visits. But today I will permit myself a few words. Ahem. I feel truly privileged to have had the honor of admitting a hero such as you. You are an inspiration to us all, madam. And on that note, the Admiral awaits you in the command room. Wink. What a fun little line to give this guy that always gives you the same line whenever you enter the Admiral's room. Kind of retroactively making the few words that he gives you a little bit more in character, or giving more character to those few words. A little nod to some weird NPC design. A fun guy, though. My congratulations, Komoi. This victory will serve to quiet the Sahagin, for a time at least. That such beings can be defeated runs contrary to all I know. Whence comes your strength and sense of purpose? Black magic, that's where. A number of things did not go exactly to plan, I will admit. Leviathan denied us the luxury of ramming him for one. But let's not quibble over the manner of the victory, eh? If Limsa is safe, and we are yet undrowned, I conclude that it has been a good day. Now go and bask in the Admiral's gratitude, will you? You have certainly earned the right. His line there, about not ramming Leviathan. Again, my brain is probably just creating things that aren't true, based on this excuse, but I feel like that may have been something changed over the course of time. I want to say that there was a previous version of the Leviathan cutscene where the ship rammed into Leviathan, but the cutscene that exists now was shortened or something so that people weren't waiting forever to get into the trial. That's probably not true in the slightest. I'm the least confident on that of all the things that I've said that might have been changed, but I can't explain otherwise why he talked about ramming Leviathan. Another notch on the old belt, is it? Well done, my friend. If were I a god, I dare say I would tremble at your summoning. You like that, do you? You like when I summon PP? Get out of here. So often do you achieve the impossible that I fear my words of congratulations will begin to sound repetitive, if indeed they have not already. With this in mind, I shall only say that I am glad of your safe return.
We Lominsons are sworn to strive, till sea swallows all. And swallow all it would have had Leviathan prevailed. That we still strive now, we owe in no small part to you. Not for the first time, you have delivered Limsa Lominsa from the wrath of a primal. Never has our nation known a stouter ally. On behalf of my people, I give you my humblest thanks. 'Tis meet that I give thanks to old Mistbeard, too, for his fine solution. Whatever else he may have been, 'tis clear he was a resourceful soul. Would that I had a man like him in my service.
Before I set foot in these lands, I had no inkling that the people of Eorzea contended with such mighty foes. Suffice it to say, their existence came as something of a shock, as did the idea that they could be defeated. This experience has served to remind me of the vastness of the world, and the boundless potential of man. Though I am but a refugee in this realm, I would fain be of use to you in your fight. Know that I am tutored in one of the foremost combat arts of the Far East. It may seem outlandish to the Eorzean eye, but should any of your people care to learn, I would be pleased to initiate them.
And I will see to it that they are grateful. I have no doubt that your knowledge and skills will serve us well. Besides, your art is not so outlandish as you think. Would you not agree, Master Thancred?
Naught escapes your searching eye, Admiral. Few are privy to this information, but Limsa Lominsa is home to a certain secret fraternity. Its members are trained in a form of combat not unlike your own. By my judgment, it should not be beyond such individuals to adapt to the techniques I witnessed you employing with such admirable deftness.
I am heartened to hear this. I too noted a kinship between your style and mine own. though it seemed to me that you fought differently in the beginning.
I suppose I did. What can I say? I'm a man of many talents.
Though you may labor to believe it, Thancred was once something of a scoundrel who fraternized with the criminal class in these parts.
Yestola! You jest, of course.
But for a chance encounter with Alphino's grandsire, he might never have left Limsa Lominsa, or received an education in Sharlayan, or taken up his post in Uldar, which is where he trained in the blade, lest you wonder.
Minfilia, please!
It would seem there is more to you than meets the eye, Master Thancred.
Lady Yugiri, I am told that you and yours came to Eorzea seeking permanent resettlement, and that many domins have since been engaged as frontier hands at Revenant's Toll. Morderna is many things, but a place of refuge it is not. Know that I would like nothing better than to furnish your people with a new home here on Lominsan soil. Alas, racked by instability as we are, our nation is in no fit state to take you in. Yet I'll not have it said that we turned a blind eye to your suffering. Until such time as we can do more, I pledge to send provisions.
We are in your debt, Admiral. I realize that it scarce qualifies as repayment, but if it please you, I shall set about sharing my martial knowledge with your people at once.
You wished a word in private.
The better not to spoil the festive mood. History repeats itself, Admiral. As the kobolds did before them, the Sahagin resorted to summoning their god over a territorial feud. They acted in self-preservation. It may be that the Sahagin initiated this particular clash, but how it begins does not interest me so much as how it ends.
I have not forgotten our conversation, Y'shtola. I am aware that man bears part of the blame for the Primal's existence. Nor am I ignorant of the Sahagin's reason for acting. They sought to secure a place to breed and multiply that their kind might survive. Self-preservation, as you say. But we have as much right to live and thrive as they. If our own survival is threatened, are we to lay down our arms and welcome oblivion? Nay.
And so you kill, that you might live. Yet if living is a right, then that right belongs to all peoples, be they men or beastmen.
I'll not deny your reasoning, but when a storm gathers, it falls to me to see my people safely through it. That is my duty, and I shall do it.
As must we all, Admiral. Stay the course, then, but know that it will lead to no good end.
Man has ever put himself first and foremost. To justify his actions, he clads himself in the armor of righteousness, though it be a fancy of his own making. In this, mayhap the Garleans and we Domans are not so different.
Eorzea has become as a raging sea. If we are to keep our heads above the waves, we cannot scruple to drown the man next to us. When hopes of coexistence founder, strength must determine who has the greater right to live.
rough words. It's interesting to me that they get into this stuff this early on. I actually thought the whole people of Eorzea versus the Beastmen thing went on a lot longer, or rather, they don't address this kind of issue until much later on. But I guess doing the Beast Tribe quests, it's been part of the game since the beginning, hasn't it? How the people of Eorzea, or at least the 3 great city-states, kind of paint with a wide brush, or whatever the saying is, the way that they view each of the Beastmen tribes, and actually calling them Beastmen in the first place, drawing lines between their different societies. That's something that I suppose they contend with ever since the very beginning of A Realm Reborn, and I guess earlier in 1.0, though I don't have any. For some reason, I always thought that A Realm Reborn was maybe blind or deaf to those issues, that it just painted the beast tribes as entirely savage or something. But replaying it like this, I guess that was the whole point. Maybe I skipped over the cutscenes too quickly or something like that, or just wasn't paying enough attention when watching the Let's Play that got me into the game, to pick up on the whole political issues of casting aside the Beastmen and everyone. And I guess how that kind of relates to how these city-states sometimes cast aside the Domans, or just other people in general in self-service, looking out for themselves. I feel like I can appreciate A Realm Reborn and this whole set of quests a bit more now, knowing the wider story that we get into later on. This is still different from everything else that appears later on, but I feel like it has its place here, overcoming some narrow-minded prejudices and whatnot, and thinking about the world more widely. Well, this isn't the end of these kinds of politics, I don't think. If Merle Webb's last words were any indication, we're still going to have to contend with some self-serving people for the days to come. The Admiral has informed me of the arrangement. I have in my keeping a letter of introduction for Lady Yugiri. To the south stands a gate, leading to a pier for small fishing vessels. Look for an inconspicuous Huron man there, and present the letter to him. He serves as a gatekeeper of sorts. Now, before you go, I'm obliged to remind you that the members of the fraternity to which you would be introduced abide in the shadows of the Minson Society. They value their independence more highly than pirates, and are united by a bond stronger than Mithril. To wit, they are invariably wary of new faces. Though it be penned by the Admiral herself, mere words on parchment will get you only so far into their confidence. You must work for every ounce of trust they place in you. But here is the letter. Go to the aforementioned place and show it to the aforementioned man. Oh, and good luck. Guess we're dealing with the rogue stuff. Actually, I guess I didn't need to talk about it last time, but it's interesting that they spent some of the previous cutscenes' time having that conversation between Yugiri and Thancred, explaining the whole, what we can say, class change that Thancred had, adopting the rogue moveset and animation and everything, and explaining why he used a single sword as a pseudo-gladiator or whatever. There was probably a faster way to get there than where I teleported to. I forgot they had that conversation. And I guess the parallels between the rogues and the ninjas are mainly just a coincidence. There was no inheriting the dual knife style from Doma or whatever. That they're just two separate styles that happen to be similar. But of course, the animations are completely the same, all tying into the introduction of the Rogue and Ninja class within 2.x patches. I don't know exactly which patch. These guys. What? Didn't your mammy teach you it's rude to stare? Got business with me, Venturer? So you're the woman the Admiral sent word of. I was hoping I might catch a glimpse of Tancred, too. Been a while since I saw his shite-eating grin. But with all the doe-eyed wenches about, I expect he's got his hands full. Actually, how would this cutscene be different if you already picked up the Rogue class? You wouldn't have needed to complete this quest to unlock it. You could have done all of that Rogue stuff as early as like level 10. You can't start as a Rogue, but you can pick up the Rogue class and, of course, Ninja as part of A Realm Reborn, the base game. All this stuff with Yugiri introducing the ninja stuff to the subsequent portion of being a rogue feels like it wouldn't really make sense, would it? There's no way you'd have to complete all of these quests just to unlock ninja, certainly not rogue. Something worth looking up later, I guess, but I'm almost certain this cutscene would be different if you already had the rogue and ninja classes. How different, I don't know. You must be the Far Easterner that Merlewib says wants to train us. Welcome to Limsa, milady. I am Yugiri of Doma. 'Tis an honor to make your acquaintance. I must confess, when first I learned of your organization, I had certain preconceptions as to the nature of your membership. It would seem I was mistaken. You're not the first person to say that, lass. Limsa is a city of pirates, to be sure. And pirates don't give two farts about keeping a spotless reputation. They hardly need a secret society to do their dirty work. Might be as my people and I keep to the shadows, but we've got nothing to be ashamed of. It's simply better for business that we remain unseen. And so you have developed fighting techniques suited to this purpose, I see. Know that the practitioners of my art, too, are denizens of shadow. 'Tis in stealth that our strength lies. There is much we might learn from one another, I think. And what in the seven hells are we waiting for? If you'd come with us, you Gary of what's-it, we can get acquainted in more private surrounds. That didn't come out right, did it? Lady Komoi, I shall remain with these people for a time, that I might study their ways. Though I am loath to be separated from my countrymen, I take solace in the knowledge that they are in the best of hands. You have been a true friend to us, Domans. No words would suffice to express my gratitude. Ere long, I hope to begin imparting my martial knowledge to the people of Eorzea. When that time comes, it would be my honor to welcome you as a student. Oh, it's been ages since Tancred up and left the sisters. What I wouldn't give to run with the old scoundrels again, just like back in the old days. Far Eastern combat, eh? I must say, my curiosity's fairly piqued. Looks like that's the last quest of the patch quests, 2.3. No, this would still be 2.2, right? Yes, 2.2. That would be the highest level we have. And yet we still outclass that with the stuff we got from the market board. They didn't pick this up until later, but they made a habit of making the final quest of a expansion/patch, the same as the name of the expansion/patch. So, A Realm Reborn, it wouldn't have been that case. The final quest there was, of course, the ultimate weapon. But if they did pick up the naming convention back then, they would have named that quest A Realm Reborn. In this case, the patch was called Through the Maelstrom, and this quest is fittingly the same. Much and more has occurred since I first beheld Eorzea from the Galleon's deck. Suffice it to say, I did not envisage being invited to play part in your noble struggle. But forgive me, I have kept you over long. Doubtless you have pressing business of your own. Rest assured that I no longer require an escort in this land. When next you meet Lady Minfilia, pray relay to her my humblest thanks. Would that I could do so in person, but I must needs fulfill my promise to the Admiral. Till we meet again, Warrior of Light. And same dialogue. Can I still see quests when I'm not in the same part of the map? I guess not. I wanted to see what level you pick up the rogue quests that's over down here. And certainly you don't need to be level 50 like you need to be for these patch quests to pick it up, so you definitely unlock that way earlier than Yu-Gi-Oh! Introduces it. This would just be chronologically when it gets introduced. Oh, some new faces. In my native land, there exist individuals not unlike these adventurers. Yet without a master to serve, how does one know the path that one must walk? I think he's referring to Ronin, probably. I have been tasked with helping out in the kitchen. Once I have grown accustomed to my duties, I hope to treat our hosts to traditional Domin cuisine. Making friends, Coltonet. An adventurer bends not to authority, but lives and acts according to his own beliefs. He is the master of his own destiny. Ozan. The Rising Stones. What a peculiar name for a sanctuary. On behalf of the Scions, I bid you welcome to the Rising Stones. With your cooperation, we hope to grow rich and transform this place into the piling gold. Teehee. Oh, Komoi, forgive me, but I must see to the domain's needs. What if you wanted to solve a problem that's already happened? Like the Guardians destroyed Doma. Oh, destroying Doma. History is our friend, young one. The answers to the problems of the present are oft to be found within the past. We need but seek them out. Getting your game on, Thancred? Some 15 years ago, a mission took me to Ul'dah. 'Twas then that I first chanced to gaze upon your beauty. I was utterly transfixed. I dared not blink lest I deprive even myself of even a split second of your radiance. You do flatter me, dear, and I do believe you have had a bit too much to drink. I don't think it's working, Thancred. We're not allowed to get behind the bar ourselves. What a shame for role-playing. What in the seven hells are you doing up there? Get down here before you fall and break your neck. You think this is impressive? In Doma, we train to run in the treetops. Don't mind Papa Limo. He's making a fuss over nothing as usual. Yozan's sense of balance is amazing for a boy his age. I wonder how he got so good. Older? Some of the Domans wanted to learn how to fight, and it's fallen to me to oversee their training. First, I need to find suitable equipment for everyone. Just don't let them into my secret room. Not really a room, but Komori thinks it's a room. It's certainly large enough to be a room for a Lalafell, I guess. Actually, are the Domans running around outside too? The Rising Stones might be the only place that kind of updates, quote-unquote, with NPCs floating about and whatnot. But sometimes the overworld does. Domans, of course, are pretty easy to spot because of the smock that they specifically are assigned to by the game designers. I don't see any here, though. Oh. Nope, they're here already. That was fast. No matter where I look, all I see is stone. I fear the grains we brought with us will not grow here. Any other Domans wandering around? I doubt any NPCs have anything to say. We deal in objects both rare and peculiar. If you find such oddities in your travels, then bring them to me and we'll talk business. Well, the business is in fact run by Rowena, and I merely stock the shelves. But one day all that will change. I doubt it, nameless NPC. You do have a name, but you might as well be a nameless NPC. I'm pretty sure she's just there for relic quests, all three of these people are. They don't even have the decency to have dialogue about the world affairs, Domans coming in to settle in and whatnot. But I bet Slaffborn has something to say. Maybe. Or maybe he's still talking about the Mughals. Yeah, he's talking about the Mughals. Well, he doesn't always update. Can't always count on that guy. I'm so glad. Don't want those guys marring the view forever.
I have been reflecting upon the events which took place during our visit to Vilbrand. If you have a moment, I would share my conclusions with you. Please, bear with me. When the Sahagin Elder summoned Leviathan, he employed the power we have come to know as the Echo. Though I cannot well explain the how of it, it would seem he became immortal in so doing. When the Admiral subsequently slew him, his spirit emerged from his lifeless flesh, a consciousness shorn of physical form. Thus transfigured, he took up residence in the body of his minion with the ease of a man donning a favorite glove. Long have I known that the Echo allows one to pass through the walls of a man's soul, but never did I imagine that it could free us from our own flesh, nor less that our souls could then occupy the next corporeal vessel to take our fancy. It was of this that Elidibus spoke, an existence which knows neither cessation nor oblivion. And yet, though the Sahagin had mastered his gift and thereby become immortal, he was by no means invulnerable. As we both bore witness, he was ultimately absorbed into Leviathan. And the import of this observation? If the Ascians' mode of existence is indeed the same, it can be inferred that they too are not invulnerable, that they can be destroyed. There exists a legend which tells of souls who are reborn upon the cusp of each umbral calamity, that they might stay the encroaching darkness. To most, it is but a fairy tale. Yet recent events have given me cause to wonder. Could the legend in fact refer to the Echo? Much and more yet remains unknown, but I am confident that all will become clear in time. For the present, however, what matters is that the key to defeating the Ascians may at last be within sight. With Urianger's aid, it is my hope that I shall fathom this matter ere long. Oh, I was just about to send for you, my friend. Is Artemis?
Grave tidings from the Sharlayan motherland, my lady. It doth concern our distant allies, the students of Baldessian.
What of them?
My lady, the Isle of Val, which for many years hath been the Order's home, is no more.
No more? Whatever do you mean?
I relate only that which hath been conveyed unto me by our agents. An etheric wave of the highest magnitude was recorded in the region. Soon thereafter, 'twas observed that the isle had ceased to be. 'Tis postulated that a magic was evoked, like in power to Ultima.
12 preserve.
If there are no other matters, I move that today's meeting be adjourned.
It is done, my lord. Forgive my impertinence, my lord, but these orders, I am uncertain as to what end they serve.
Revolution.
That's certainly ominous. And of course, this will be the start of the patch 2.3 quests. We'll tackle that later. We're not done with 2.2. We have on the docket, actually, only a few things to do. All of them being dungeons, come to think of it. Because of course, in patch 2.2, they would have released the second set of the 8-man raid for A Realm Reborn. Something which again is something too mechanically obtuse for me to take on right now. Well, the mechanics are one thing, but more than that is the matchmaking, which is highly unlikely that I'll find someone in a reasonable amount of time. I'm working on those desperate measures in order to actually get to the point where I feel comfortable taking on those raids, but for now that entire questline is going to stay in the back of my mind. I'll focus on some other things for now. Now the first thing that I should probably do is one of these hard mode dungeons, right? Not this one. No, not this one. I'm pretty sure they're both here. Yes, Holotolly hard mode is one of them. And not Korn. I don't think it was this one. Maybe they're not both here. What was the other hard mode I'm looking for? It would have been Brave Fox's long stop, yes. And actually that might be this Kurt's one. I don't know. This guy looks like a chef. Maybe we're getting cheese again. That could be what this is. But there's not enough time to do either dungeon right now. Nor the other non-hard mode dungeon, which was new to this patch. Which would have been... what was it? Right. One of these Amdapor ones. One or the other. Since there's not much time, we'll do what I planned out to do. Just do a little bit of side questing to kill time. I do eventually want to clear Revenant's Toll out of all the side quests, just so that it's a nice clean map for us to teleport back home to. No trouble on the home front. Sister Adventurer, hear me out. I need a sample of catalytic ectoplasm, but I'm not having much luck. It's no great shakes, mind you. First, you go to Wrathfrost, slay yourself some plasmoids, then collect 3 samples of catalytic plasma. Douse the large crystallized tree with that, wait a spell, and the bark will start crackling from the lightning that surges in the plasma. After that, it's like gardening on a Gabu. The ectoplasm comes scampering over without a care in the world. Hit that right quick and you've got yourself some catalytic ectoplasm. Why do I want you to get it? Come now, sister, let's not go prying into the unmentionables drawer. All in good time, all in good time. I would very much like to pry into the unmentionables drawer. Thank you. But other than what he's using those for, I have a very good reason, I suspect the very good reason he wants us to go get this stuff is because he doesn't want to deal with Morbles. There's no way to get over there to Wrathfrost without going through all of these Morbles that guy so dearly hates. Of course, he's just an NPC that gives quests to similar locations in the map. So it's just a coincidence that the Morbles are nearby, but I like to imagine this guy has some horrible backstory with Morbles, that if there's any quest objective that involves going near the Morble place, then he dumps it on some other adventurer to do the dirty work for him. We won't even get out our carbuncle for this, there's no need. This stick. Oh, right, one more step. I guess we can summon PP. Where is this thing? There you are. Just a bigger version, huh? Okay, I didn't need to summon you. So this fortress, it's not an ancient structure, right? This was all built by the adventurers and whatnot? It doesn't look ancient, I guess, so yeah. Everything that I've heard about this place doesn't really point to any kind of lore of this being repurposed ancient ruins or whatnot. The more I look at Revenant's Toll, the more appealing it becomes. Somehow all of the greenery is sticking out to me more than usual now, despite most of it being rock and whatnot. This place is home, in more ways than one. Got the little shocker? That's what I call an adventurer. You're a fearless one, sister. Oh, Swyven, sons of 7 hells for 7 brothers. That hurts like a troll marrying my daughter. Now you see why I was none too keen on getting the bugger myself. I don't know what it is, but I always end up getting shocked. Maybe I'm lightning aspected. Or straight lightning disrespected, even. Just my luck that I keep getting commissioned from these learned types. And about half of them, and half of the rest, are studying lightning. I should give up adventuring and become an agent at this rate. And we have completed the quest chain of Argenvold. Unless somehow we unlock a new quest from him by doing other side quests in the area, which is always a possibility. I can tell you in the trade, sister. Welcome to Revenant's Toll, a place of venturers, the rest for the restless, the abode on the crossroads. Yeah, we live here. And so do the Domans now. Let's just hope they all keep it down while Komori gets her beauty sleep. There isn't exactly soundproofing in her private room. But it's as good a place as any to take a break.